Hello, Arim Naharim Samadhi for Jesus Spirituality, applying the teachings, stories, wisdom, and tradition around Jesus for peoples of all faiths and spiritualities. Today, I talk about this mystery we call love. When Jesus was asked once in the gospel tradition in the Christian Bible, what is the greatest commandment? He pointed to two teachings out of over 600. Succinctly, he said, love the one, love God with all your being, all that you are, all your capacities, and love others as you love yourself. That raises two questions. What is this love that he is talking about and other spiritual masters talk about, have, and do? And how do we do this? So asking the question, what is this love, is linked with how do we do this? And from a mystical or contemplative perspective, it relates to the idea of our heart. And we can look at that in two ways. The heart as the center of emotions. So if I say to you, I love you with all of my heart, I could be saying, I feel love for you. I feel loving feelings. I feel in love with you. I feel that. But if we look at in the deep spiritualities, wisdom teachings, the heart is not the feeling center, the feelings center of the even the loving feelings. It's not that. It is the center, the essence, the core of who we are. It's not personality that is linked with, we could call the emotional heart, or the emotional aspect, or the thought process. It is before that. So I can be totally, fully in love with you from my personality. That is not, and that is one understanding people have. That is not what we're talking about. What is that about you that is truly who you are, that is before even your most loving feelings, most being loved feelings, or that you are lovable, you feel lovable, or you feel someone else is lovable, or deserving of love, or undeserving of love? What is that about you? That is you. Could we say that? That is you. That is your essence, presence, your godness, your goddessness. What I call again presence. Wonderful presence, mysterious presence. So if you go back there, you go back to this place that's before the feelings. And that, again, is related to how can I love the one? How can I love others and myself consistently? It is from the place that we're talking about. One way we do this is by coming back into that place that's before the personality, the other person, my personality. That is not who I am. I cannot consistently love everyone, or God, by the way, or spirit, through the personality that has a name, Ari, and through aspects of that personality, be it introvert, extrovert, Christian, atheist, kind, gentle, whatever these things are that are a construct. But I can love you and everyone where we are one. So that's one way of loving the Spirit and loving others, is simply come into, and I mean simply, come into that of you. That is the center, the heart, into yourself, and be there. That is why in contemplative spirituality, the teaching is that contemplatives, and I am a contemplative, I am vowed to a contemplative life, and why we say these persons are as essential to our world, at least as essential as persons who are in the active mode of life, who are out there consistently engaging the world. It is that part of us where we are in prayer with the world, for the world, with the world, and in that love within our silence, within the devotion that is arising from the heart. So the contemplative simply is more directed in that direction than those who are more directed in the active life. But they come together, for the contemplative then engages the active through this devotion, and the other, in a sense, comes out of the commitment to the active life, external, back into this oneness. So we're there in different ways. But what the active needs to do is to learn better how to be active from the heart and then be more loving. Whereas the contemplative, the challenge may well be to externalize more and show love more socially, where he or she may be more comfortable kind of in the inner life. So this is how I understand that partly what this mystery is. And what this protects us from, or what this guards us from, is trying to create a love that is based in the feelings, in the personality, which will always lead us to frustration. If I am trying to love the world and others, show love to the world and others, from my personality and from this idea that this love is grounded in the personality and grounded in the feelings, in the emotions, then I'm going to be repeatedly facing futility, because it cannot be sustained there. When I'm feeling lovable, or let's say when I'm feeling loving toward others, and I feel I'm doing that, then I might feel good about that. What happens the day that I wake up and I don't feel loving toward anyone? See, and there comes the problem, because this idea of socialized idea of love and loving feelings, and the sweetness of love that we're saturated with through the media, music, movies, books, poetry, that is the problem. It is placing this as a spiritual reality where it can never be sustained, and therefore there is inevitably this sense that I can't get there, I can't stay there. But if you come back into the oneness, before the personality, where the love actually arises from, out of, we could say, God, grace, then we can live in love with the divine and with everyone, because we're living from that place, that love itself, the fount of it, where it's springing from. So that means that, like in our spiritual life, there are times that we're not going to feel close to what we would call God or spirit, presence. But our stability in those times is to know that we can live between the sweetness and the bitterness. We can live in that place where we simply are being. And therefore we are being loved and we are being loving. We can also have our days that we're not feeling loving toward others. We're not feeling mean toward others. But it's these shifting moods that we will always have in heart as defined as feeling or feelings. There's a deeper feeling of simply a being that is love, that is profoundly loving. So most of life will be spent there, and most of our devotional life, probably our practices, prayers, spirituality practices of spirituality will be in that place of kind of neutrality. There's not the sense of sweetness or unsweetness. So usually if you could ask me after I come out of my devotions, did it feel great? No. Did it feel bad? No. It's almost always in between there. So this makes it very possible and simple to live in love itself, and love from love itself. And this is part of what Jesus meant by dying to the self, to find the self. It would be like dying to the personality, this attachment and localization in personality. Dying to the Arim, I think I am, and others think I am, which is constantly shifting anyway. It's never stable. Into that which is stable, which is my heart. But it's your heart also, see. It is our heart. We could say it's the heart of God. The heart of God is the heart of life. It's the spring of love comes from there. And in conclusion, the more we live in this, coming back and practicing, whether we're contemplative or active, coming in a sense, we could use those two categories, more prone to the inner life or outer life, as we're learning more to ground in the heart. It becomes more and more natural and even unconscious to us, even to the personality, to love, because what's happening, the personality is not annulled, it's not obliterated, the ego isn't, you know, it's not done away with. It is configured or reconfigured on the basis of the heart, on the basis of this that is able to love. Therefore, the ego itself begins to operate, think, behave more from the impulse and inspiration of the heart, rather than the personality trying to love, trying to be loving. And the trying then decreases. The effort decreases because as it becomes more, the personality becomes more brought under the center, the heart, the grace. It is reconfigured. Uh, then it begins to more spontaneously participate in the flow of this love toward others, and yes, what we're all a part of. Call that what you will. Thank you. Hope this has encouraged you today in the life of love and growing in that.